Welcome to Illy's Isles Vibez Only Podcast, guys, hosted by me, Ilana, where we celebrate positive vibes and artistic expression and creativity of all kinds. Sponsored by the Playlister Network and the Matrix Studios. And today we have someone I'm really, really excited for, Mr. Michael O. And I'm going to let you say your names because we were vibing and I'm like, is it Michael Orokara?
Yes, Michael Odokara Okibo.
Odokara Okibo. Oh, I love that. And, guys, we're here introducing Michael, who is a multi-faceted person. Not only is he, an innovative mind with innovative ideas, but he's also a creative with lots of talent. And he has culture that embodies his whole existence. And, I'm really, really happy to be sitting here with you and being able to be in your presence and, getting to know you a little better as well.
Likewise.
Awesome. And of course, today, we're going to talk about a lot of different things that have changed your lives, what created that passion behind your creativity and diversity. So, I wanted to just introduce you guys a little bit to Michael. So Michael is a singer-songwriter and he's a performer and producer. He has a diverse background of cultural influences that shape his powerful sound. And he was born in New York, raised in Portland, Maine, right?
Yep.
Awesome. And he uses Afro and Caribbean. And, I was just say just Afro and Caribbean elements in your music.
R&B.
Yeah. Okay. And could you tell us like how some of your influences have shaped, your artistry and music?
Yes. So I'm Nigerian by heritage, but also my grandma is also I'm Nigerian, but also my grandma's from Birmingham, Alabama. So I'm Nigerian and African American. I grew up in the States and with a single mom who raised me with Nigerian music, hip hop, R&B, everything. So
Nice.
I've been raised with everything and inspired by everything. But at my core, like Afro diasporic music is my greatest inspiration.
Oh yeah, that's what moves me in my vibe.
Yeah.
I have a whole playlist for just Afro beats. And what was like a life-changing moment that kind of shaped who you were today? Like, was there like an epiphany that happened in your life as a child or as a teen that kind of shifted you in gears, or did you always want to do this? Like, were you always creative?
I've always been inspired by music ever since I was born. Music has always been the creative force in my life. Like whether it was like studying for tests, I've always studied for tests, writing music.
Yeah.
It's always helped. But I didn't know I wanted to pursue music. Like I'm Nigerian. Something with Nigerian families is you're going to either be a doctor or a lawyer. That's what we are trained to do, you know? But so that's what I thought I was going to do. But in college, senior year of college, my college a cappella group, we did a TV show. And then from that experience, that's where I realized, oh, okay, this is what I'm meant to do. I'm meant to make music. That's my passion.
Yeah.
But as I've grown older, that's also kind of been made into different things. Like, yes, I'm meant to do music. But maybe I'm also meant to do other things. Like I love to act. I love to do tech. I like lots of different things. So maybe I'm just meant to experience.
Yes. Oh, experience. So just living that experience, kind of just like vibing through life, right? On this plane that we're in, just kind of, it's kind of like a spider web, when you have like a spider and she just sits there on her web and she just feels like that vibration. It just attracts her and calls it to her. I mean, obviously it's her prey, right? This is a little darker, but
and not limited.
It's not limited, right? And it just goes and it just intertwines and it interconnects everything. And I think that's pretty amazing.
Correct.
Yeah. And well, you mentioned school. So obviously, like, if they don't know, you went to Dartmouth College, right? Which is an amazing college. You had a lot of success on the sign off. Was that the show that you were referring to?
Sing Off, yeah.
Yeah. And then you really showcased your talent. What was that experience for you? Because you were really young at that point, like in your career.
Yeah, what was cool about that was it kind of showed me that how much I love music and how it was natural. I'm competitive by nature, so it was also cool to exercise that gene and to beat people, because again, I'm very competitive, but still to do that in a creative fashion and do it with people who are my brothers. And that was an incredible experience. But at the end of the day, it showed me how much I love music, and that passion hasn't stopped.
I understand. So like, is there a personal like mantra or motto that guides you to that? Like,
I don't know if I have a personal mantra, but I'm so inspired by music to this day. It's like still the air that I breathe, and that hasn't changed since I've been a child.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. It's still one of the greatest inspirations to me. And it's allowed me to grow in so many aspects. So tech has been another inspiration, but the music has been what has been able to fund tech until tech was able to fund itself.
Yes.
So music has been the driving force to the other expansions.
It's your door. So
Correct.
It's like your portal. So the music was a portal that you jumped into that can open up the different realms that you want to kind of see and expand through.
Correct.
That's amazing. And then, let's talk about your song Japa, right? So obviously that and Overload.
Yeah.
Right? Both tracks highlight, the traditional Afro beats, live instruments, I should say, and then infectious drums. Now, in our cultures, for those of us that, obviously you're born here, right? I wasn't. I'm from the Amazon. So for me, in culture and tribe, drums are very, very important to us, right? They move you. They can be for a ritual. They could be for a ceremony, a wedding, just anything. So what would you say is the most influential instrument that you implement into your music?
Oh, great question.
Because the drums are something that were very present.
To me, it's drums and rhythm, because like you say, rhythm is it's like spiritual. It's before human existence. It's kind of space, and it can lead you to different planes. When you go into different practices or different spiritual practices, you utilize drums in order to do so.
Yes.
And that doesn't matter whether you're from the Amazon or whether you're from my tribe, the Igbo tribe. So for me, drums kind of lead me to how I write, and then everything else follows.
Oh, so it's kind of like the drummer boy too, because it's not only culture. Like even in Christmas songs, they have the drummer boy, and it's always the leader, the person that starts that beat, that rhythm, that march.
Correct. Yeah, and it's cool too with African diaspora. It's like the drums kind of connects the diaspora to each other, whether it's the Afro-Caribbean to the Afro in the continent, to the Afro-Latinos, to the Afro-Brazilians, the African-Americans. The drums is the connecting force to the diaspora.
It's the connectivity. And I don't think that people, for those of you that don't know me, they're like, I'm born between, the Amazon of Guyana and Brazil. And I have family from all over the world. My grandmother has Ethiopian and Majasi roots, right? And I tell people that one thing that stems from us, we're so close together. They don't really, I don't think that a lot of people pay attention to the geographics of the world anymore and realize how close that Africa is, not only to America, but to South America. And before those tectonic plates split, we were all intertwined and interconnected. So I tried to tell people, a lot of things here with drums are our brothers and sister tribes, and just the diversity of it. One thing that ties all the tribes together is the drum. Right? We can look different. We can have all different colors, textures, backgrounds, languages, but there is, like you say, diaspora, if I'm saying it right, the connectivity, the intertwine of culture through that one beat, I think is what the biggest one was for me when I reflected with you. And that was something that I really liked. And I really love how the drums kind of drive the energy of your music, I should say. It's just how it changed significantly from an idea into a vibration is what fascinates me with you. And is that why you choose to do Afrobeats? Are you trying to embody something spiritual with your listeners? Are you trying to make them feel?
Yes, it's a connection to something that's deeper within us, that is connected within us, especially with my music and with my technology, and basically with my being. I want to connect people with our connective selves, with our unified connective self, especially with the African diaspora, because we're more connective than we are not. And for me personally, I believe in order for the diaspora to elevate, we need to connect with each other, because we have a lot of similar issues and a similar goodness that we need to connect to in order to elevate.
Yes. And that's like the energy, like the oneness, right? Because like vibrations, you have yin and yang, and you have the dark, you have the light. But if you combine it, you can have like magic.
Correct.
So there's so much different because we need the balance, right? I'm a Libra, so I'm a firm believer in balance. I'm an air sign. I'm a firm believer in being grounded, even though because I tend to be all over the place as an air sign, you know. So for me, I really love how you ground, because when I listen to it, I believe you said it was Unconditional, right? That's my favorite song from you. And it just like screams love. It screams authenticity. It screams like love and appreciation for those from our culture, and like for women that look like me, you know, or look like us. And it just embodies the beauty of culture. And I think that that's something that's, you know, really, really impactful. And then for my last question here, you know, your ability to basically blend genres is like kind of fresh and inspiring. You know, what comes from that? And like what made you decide to kind of blend that I guess I should say the Afro from the heritage versus maybe the Caribbean, which can also be a heritage, versus what you've seen here growing up in America?
Yeah, that's been just the inspirations. I mean, from TLC to the Carpenters to Queen to Tupac to Kanye to Jay-Z to Wizkid to Burna. I've been inspired by so many greatness throughout my life that I've loved. And music is music is music is music. Goodness is goodness. Light is light. Is God is God.
Yes.
And there's unity through all things. So I just try to express my love of music in my own way through my respect of that.
Oh my gosh. And guys, you know, Michael's amazing. I was looking at Michael before I even spoke to him on Instagram, and we're talking about energy here, right? And interconnectivity and intertwining things. And I'll say, energy is real, manifestation is real, because I told him when he walked into the studio today that like I looked at him before he even knew who I was, and I said to myself, like, I like this guy. I stared at you for like 2 hours, right? Because I didn't know what was what. I didn't know what it was, but it was definitely music for me. It was definitely the drums. And then it was like seeing what you have for others and like being able to express who you are authentically and not being ashamed of who you are. You know, like honoring your tribe, your mother, where you come from. This is important, right? I find that here as an immigrant myself, I was not born here. It is important for us to keep our culture, to know where we come from, and instill that in our children, because I look at my daughter, who's a firstborn American and an Olympian for the United States. You know, she's doing great.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And she embodies, you know, that first generation of Americans from my family. And I look at it and sometimes I'm terrified, because I'm like, what happens to my greats or my fifth great generation? Like, are they going to know who I am or where we come from or what we are or how rich our heritage is or our history? And it scares me. So, you know, those are things that I find is very important for us to instill in future generations. And I think that it's important that you keep doing it. Even if you were that generation that started it, you are the American generation that was born on this land, right? So I feel like you give a sense of security, you know, for us parents that are, you know, not here, just kind of like moved over here. And now our children are that generation, and you're an adult generation of that. So, you know, I'm really grateful that I'm able to kind of see this and sit with you here. But I really want the audience to go ahead and start listening, you know, to some of the music. So let's get into some of his music and see how amazing, you know, he really is.
It I'm not a fool. Should I know no better than to be a friend? The wasted chance that I've been given. So I'm never gonna dance again the way I dance with you. With you, with you. No, with you. Break it down right now.
Just another day. Just another day on the porch with the guys, and we was just shooting that. Saw a pretty young thing in a F-150 passenger side. Where you looking at me, smile on your face, couldn't let it pass by. I know. Flagged it down, introduced myself, then pretty eyes made my heart build. Said she born and raised in Florida, and her accent came from Georgia. Her accent, Louisiana, Suntan, California. Her dad's from Mississippi, her mom from Arizona. Said life's just like fishing, just another day on the water. fancy dinners, tableside bread, and they always want the candles lit. And she drink moonshine and she howl at the moon by the fire pit. Yeah. One shot, got you feeling buzz, huh? Two drinks, got you feeling love drunk. Three drinks, make you wanna fight some. These country girls know how to end the night, huh? Down here on the border, in the deep air woods of Florida. Said she born and raised in Florida, and her dick came from Georgia. Her accent Louisiana, Suntan, California. Her dad's from Mississippi, her mom from Arizona. Said life's just like fishing, just another day on the water. Said she born and raised in Florida, and her came from Georgia. Her accent Louisiana, Suntan, California. Her dad's from Mississippi, her mom from Arizona. Said life's just like fishing, just another day on the water.
My side or your side or this side. On my side or your side or this side.
Don't get the reason why they say they hate. I'm in my home, what the feelings here. Some of my guys feel intimidated. It be the reason why they stay away. Situation complicated. Greed and envy's menses. I'm not trying to run away, but do I have to die to feel the edge? Waiting my do if you are there, not to jack out. Running through your mind, ain't no peace, you go gaga. Got to be away, better way, climb the ladder. Oh, yeah, yeah.
My side or your side or this side.
On the other side,
My side or your side or this side.
oh,
My side or your side or
on the
this
other
side.
side, the other side.
My side or your side or this side.
Long time to feed the noise. Don't waste your feeling on. Can't stop this feeling I wanna get it on your body. Bit high, a bit to go low. When you low, can take no dollar. The other side ain't running no more. The other side ain't running no more. Waiting my do if you are there, not to jump out. Running through your mind, ain't no peace, you go gaga. Got to be away, better way, climb the ladder. Oh, yeah, yeah.
My side or your side or this side.
On the other side,
My side or your side or this side. My side or your side or this side. My side or your side or this side.
on the other side, the diva.
My side or your side or this side.
On the other
My
side,
side or your side or this side. My side or your side or this side.
on the other.
My side or your side or this side.
Alright guys, welcome back. Now after we heard some really good vibes, I wanted to get into something different. Now we talked about Michael and his musical aspect, but like I said, he's multifaceted, right? And I wanted to talk about a lot of things because AI in our daily lives, AI, let's say it's a touchy subject, but a lot of us, either love it or hate it. I am for it. I'm terrified by it, but I'm not against it, right? So, I wanted to dive into like how this artificial intelligence, for those of you who don't know what AI means, it means artificial intelligence. It's an incredible how AI is basically, becoming more woven into our daily routines, from virtual assistants to, of course, things like Alexa and Siri, who drive me crazy. I would never own an Alexa. I'm terrified of her. To AI generated content and art, which is more so my realm. It's transforming our interactions, not only with technology, but the way that we interact with our creativity. And AI can compose music, AI can write articles, they could even create visual arts. And this opens up new avenues for creativity, but it raises a lot of questions about the role of human artists or workers, right? I'm a recruiter in my 9 to 5, guys. In recruitment, I had a guy just walk into my office and try to replace my whole job, okay, with an AI. And we just said no, okay, because we want that human touch, which we do agree is important for those that support AI. But AI can streamline, it can process and reduce stress, it can reduce biases, and it can also be carefully designed in order to not create existing biases, because that's another thing too. Like, what if it creates a whole reality that already exists? What if it creates an algorithm that's already here? Then why do we need you to, it's kind of trying to be innovative. So at the end of the day, what I think is that we need to just embrace AI for its creativity, for its streamlining efficiency, and of course, ensuring that the human touch is still there and in place and at the forefront of the experience with the AI. Now, Michael, I know that, you're a big facet with technology as well and in the music industry. So how do you see yourself with AI and it impacting your part in the music industry?
So that's interesting. So, you see AI in music creating music, which I have not played with yet. I'm still very much, I write my own things.
No ChatGPT?
No, I have not played with. But when it comes to tech, I see AI being really beneficial for the continent of Africa, really beneficial for connecting the continent of Africa together. In the continent, we have so many languages.
Mm-hmm.
In Nigeria alone, we have 400 languages, over 250 million people in that country alone. Wow. So just to connect that country with AI, with languages, will be beneficial. But with languages, they're low resource languages considered. So what my company is currently doing, which is funded by the US government, we're creating an African language AI translation database to help create African language AI translation capacities, so there will be less of that problem. But when it comes to music and AI, like, you see that when you hear like fake AI Drake tracks and it sounds like Drake. It's insane.
Bieber, yeah,
it's crazy, and it's only going to get worse. So we will see what happens.
Yeah, but you're using it in a beneficial way, right? You're bringing a resource to others, right? So this just points out like the benefits of AI versus the people that choose to use it for negative things, right?
Correct.
So everything has its yin and yang, and we can talk about like positives and negatives. Now, I myself, I'm all for it. A lot of people are going to be against me with that, but hey, I'm for it if somebody is sick or an elderly person and that, robot that Tesla just dropped, I feel like that robot can make things easier for someone. What if someone's immobile? What if someone's a veteran? What if someone lost a limb fighting for freedom? They deserve to have that kind of technology to help them.
It's crazy to see how quickly technology has developed, especially even the past like 10 years. We're going to see this pandemic and how this pandemic has drastically shifted technology and the role of technology. In the next 15, 20 years, especially also when it comes to population. I will speak again, because I'm so connected to the continent of Africa. Right now, 1 out of every 7 human is an African. By 2050, 1 out of every 4 human will be an African. So we're going to see just the world in the next 20 years is going to shift. And it's going to be interesting to see how the West will be in comparison.
Yeah, and I think that shift is already happening, right? And I feel like it's just like I'm in I don't even know what to call it, like as above, so below kind of life, because before the Western world was like leader, and now what they would consider here, which I don't like to refer because I'm from one, is a third world country, right? But our countries are a little bit more advanced. We're starting to see that what they're saying here in the media is not exactly what it is. Like,
we're being fed a lot.
We're being fed a lot, and what a lot of people don't realize is that a lot of the resources that we have from here are from very rich countries like yours and mine. And a lot of the things that you use in your apples and whatever else technology is coming from our resources, right? Our lands. And I think this is important to incorporate because it is not only being taken from us on a financial level and on a level that destroys our communities and puts our children at risk and our resources at risk. You know, it also does a lot of other things. But if we were to able to incorporate it and kind of like Japan or Singapore, right? Singapore, beautiful country. I've never been there, but that's on my bucket list, right?
Likewise.
So Singapore, you know, is innovative. They found a way to incorporate tech in an advanced structure with nature by being one with it, like you're saying, interconnected. So like with, and please correct me if I'm pronouncing it wrong, Nkenne, right?
Nkenne.
Nkenne. Let me make sure I pronounce that right. Nkenne.
Beautiful.
So, you know, with this app, obviously, you know, like you mentioned, there's millions of African languages within a radius, right? I feel that way about Brazil too, because, you know, in South America, we have multiple languages that they say don't exist, but people still speak Latin in South America, right? We speak indigenous languages. We have tribes that are each different dialects, and they're very close to each other. It could be a mile, but they're speaking a different language in a mile. So I can see like how this, but what made you feel that this was something that just not only like people here, especially someone born in the Western world, but people in Africa could, you know, use and why they needed it? What was your why? What was your purpose? You know, and understanding the importance of connecting the people that are right next to each other.
Yes. So yeah, it was during the pandemic and my tour was postponed. And I am super ADHD, so when my mind is idle, I run into trouble. And I was learning French for a girl because I wanted to speak to her, and she lived in Paris. And I was thinking, why am I learning French when I could be learning Igbo, which is my native language?
Facts.
And I couldn't find a good solution to learn. And my mom always taught me, she was like, if you can't find a solution, you got to build it. And I was like, okay, even though I've never built an app in my life, let me see what I can do. So I looked at Upwork, and I just saved some of my music money, and I invested. And I just I tried, and I got my mom involved. Nkenne is named after my mom. My mother's name is Shalom Nkenne Odokara. Nkenne also means of the mother in Igbo.
Beautiful.
So our mission is to teach mother tongue. Mother languages, and you know, African languages are the most ancient human languages, so our goal is to preserve the most ancient human languages.
So things like Twi and
exactly, and we have Tree on Nkenne. Swahili we have on Nkenne, and you know, from 10 users we now have 200,000 users. We have over 7,000 paid users. We've been featured on Apple's editorial list, Google's editorial list. We've received government contracts. And we've been growing.
I love that for you because like I don't think that the public generally knows too. Like you're not only connected by the AI side too and the app side with the government, but guys, if you don't know, but Michael performed for President Obama as well. So, you know, he's got quite his hand in not only community and future, you know, but he's trying to bring something positive to people that really need it, you know. One issue that I have personally, it's really hard for me to say, but sometimes people hear, and please, like I'm like, I just want to just disclose this, like I am Black, Asian, and white. I would never hate anybody. I love everybody. But here I get a lot of backlash, you know, here I get called certain things that I'm not. And it's important for me to know. And the first thing that someone would say to you here as an immigrant is go home, right? Or go back to your country, right? Not directing to anyone, but that's just a generalization of what would be said to someone like myself that's an immigrant. So for what I tell people is, because I come from I'm over from South Jamaica, Queens, so I can get like different. So I've told people in my life, like, hey, I can't even go home even if I wanted to, you know, like I didn't even ask to be here. I didn't even want to be here. If I could go home, I would, but I can't speak my language. I can't go home. So what do you want me to do? You know, so I came here really young. My first languages in my family were Latin, Spanish, French, and English. My father spoke 7.
Wow.
Right. And my mom spoke English. We immigrated to the United States. And my mother spoke English. I had an accent and kids made fun of me. So I got rid of that real quick. And I learned to fight really quickly and protect myself. So that's why it's so important for me to know, like, what drives you, because this can help someone like myself. Maybe there's someone that considers themselves African American, which I don't think exists. We're all tribal. We were all here before anybody discovered it. And I'm not trying to be political or hurt anyone or go against any type of narrative, but I just say, like, from someone that comes from tribal heritage, they were brothers and sisters here. Like I mentioned, tectonic plates earlier, from the Ivory Coast to the American Gulf, whatever, to South America, all of it's intertwined and connected. It's a big triangle.
Yes.
Right? New York is literally across from Africa right now. We're across from literally like Africa. You go further down, you're in Asia. You're in Uzbekistan and Russia. But they don't realize that, right? So for me, is that something that like drove you, the fact that you were born here and that like you also couldn't speak your language and can't go home because of that?
Yes. And it's crazy because as I started to connect back into my heritage, I started to get blessings from that. And I think that's important. And my mother always says, in order to know where you're going, you gotta know where you come from. So
Mama's smart.
So, I now have a home in Nigeria. I now pray to my ancestors. I it's important also, I think, for people to pray to their ancestors, give thanks to their ancestors.
Mm-hmm.
We all come from somewhere. Whether if you're white, you have ancestral roots.
Oh, of course.
In the States, and you should honor that. Native, Latino, Afro-Latino. If you're a mixture of things, that's a beautiful thing because you have ancestral roots in so many different pockets you can pray to.
Yes.
And hopefully, if it's in Nkenne, I can inspire that no matter who you come from, where you are, then hopefully we can do that. But that's something beautiful that all humans can share. And that's a powerful thing that humans should utilize.
Yeah, is self and ancestry. Honor your ancestors. It's a big thing, and people make us feel different for it, right? Because we were here before, and I always say before there were language and words, there were dance, there were drums, there were spells, there were crystals, there were stones, right? It was the earth. And that's what I firm believer in. And, I think this is like really beautiful. And it's one of the reasons why I was so excited to kind of talk to you, because I wanted to kind of see what it would be like on that opposite side. Like I said, my daughter is like a first generation American, right? And I want to see it. And I have this love where my father was a historian. He was a professor for the Catholic Church, and he made sure that he named me Hebrew, so I knew where my roots were from. He said that, if I die, just make sure that you carry the Hebrew, so you know that you came from Moors, you came from the Kshatris, you came from the Brahmins, you came from the Arawaks, you know what tribes you come from, know who you are, and name yourself Hebrew, so they know when they look at you, you're Hebrew, right? And that's why when people look at me, they're confused because they see a word like Vered Ilana, and then it's like, what is that? And people chopped my name up, so I cut it into Lana. Right. And I'm very proud of my name. But when I was younger, I was not, which is why they called me Red, or why I was Lana, or why I was this, because I was ashamed of that, where I came from, because nobody could understand who I was. But while I close the show out, of course, there is a saying that I want to drop on you that I embody, right? I've asked you what embodies you. Now, in my family, we have 14 aunts and 5 uncles on my father's side. We have over 15 ethnic backgrounds. I never knew what being different was until I moved to the United States, because I was taught, and I embody this in children now, and my daughter, I say, cats and dogs, we all love them, right? They're all colors of different backgrounds, different textures, different furs, but they're what? Cats and dogs, right? So we love cats and dogs, right? Well, humans are the same. We're different colors and textures and backgrounds, and we bark and meow different, but we're just human.
We're one. We're
one. And that's something that I love about what you embody here and what you bring to community. And I can't wait to see what, the mother, Nkenne,
yes,
brings to your communities in Africa. And hopefully when my dream comes true of going to Africa for the first time, I can use it, because I have it. And tell them where to get that app, by the way.
You can get it on all Apple, Google Play Store, on your phone, or the desktop as well.
Yeah, he has a website for it too, man. Tell them what's your website.
And their website is www.nkenne.com.
And you can definitely listen to him on the Playlister as well. And, you know, his YouTube channels. Give him your YouTube channel as well.
My YouTube channel is www.michaelo. Wait, www.youtube.com/Michael O. Yeah.
I love it. And of course, guys, you know, that's me bringing to you another amazing episode of Good Vibes. And I really love this one because it just touched home, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Until next time, just know you can find me at Illy's Isle on all platforms. Shout out to the Playlister. Make sure that if you want to submit music to me, you can submit it on theplaylister.com. And for The Matrix Studios for having me. Peace, guys.